The bridge of the Defiant was silent except for the soft beeps of computers. Commander Alan Wright stood with his hands behind his back, watching through the main window as the last enemy ship disappeared into a flash of blue light. His uniform was torn at the shoulder. Dried blood crusted along his temple. But they had won. "They're gone, sir," said Lieutenant Donna Garcia from her station. Her fingers moved quickly over the control panel. "No signs of any Ziraxian ships left in our solar system." Ellen nodded but didn't speak right away. 3 days ago, life on Earth had been normal. Humans had just started to build small bases on Mars. The moon colony was home to 50,000 people. Earth was still alone in the universe, as far as anyone knew. Then the sky filled with alien ships. No warning, no attempt to talk. They just came and started shooting. The moon colony was hit first. Mars outpost fell next. 2 million people died in the first 6 hours. Earth was supposed to be next. But Admiral Lisa Carter had other plans. "Get me Admiral Carter," Alan said, his voice rough from shouting orders during the battle. The main screen flickered, and then the Admiral's face appeared. She looked as tired as he felt, but her eyes were sharp. "Commander Wright, good work out there today," she said. "The President just finished a meeting with what's left of the United Nations. They've made a decision." Alan straightened his back. "Yes, Mom. We're going after them." The words hung in the air. The bridge crew stopped what they were doing and turned to listen. "The Ziraxians think they can just show up, kill millions of our people, and then run away when the fight gets hard," Admiral Carter continued. "They need to understand something about humans. We don't let that kind of thing go." "With all due respect, Admiral," Alan said, "we barely beat them. And they had more ships that never even joined the fight. If they come back with a bigger force, that's why we're not waiting for them to come back," she cut in. "We're taking the fight to them." On the screen behind the Admiral, Alan could see a ship. It was bigger than the Defiant, with smooth lines and a shape unlike any vessel Earth had built before. "This is the EFSS Vengeance," Admiral Carter explained. "We reverse-engineered the faster-than-light drive from that Ziraxian scout ship we captured. It's ready for its first mission." Ellen felt his heart beat faster. "You want me to command it?" It wasn't a question. He already knew. "You'll leave a special task force. Scientists to study their technology. Soldiers to fight if needed. And diplomats, because this isn't just about revenge." The Admiral leaned closer to the screen. "We need to deliver a message to whoever sent those ships. A message from all of humanity." "What message is that, ma'am?" "Attack us again, and we will end you." The Admiral's face was stone. "They thought we would be easy to kill. They were wrong. Now we need to make sure everyone out there in the galaxy understands exactly what happens when you attack Earth." Alan looked around at his crew. They were tired and hurt, but in their eyes he saw determination. "When do we leave?" he asked. "The Vengeance will be ready in 2 weeks. Your crew transfers start tomorrow." The Admiral's expression softened slightly. "This is bigger than first contact, Commander. This is about making sure humanity has a future among the stars." After the call ended, Alan turned back to the window. Space looked empty now, but he knew it wasn't. Out there, somewhere, the aliens who had tried to wipe out humanity were telling others about the battle. Maybe they were planning another attack. But Earth wasn't going to wait to find out. This time, humans would do the surprising. "Send a message to all hands," Alan told Lieutenant Garcia. "Tell them to prepare for new assignments. We're going hunting." The stars looked wrong. Captain Kelly Harrison had studied star maps her whole life, but nothing she knew matched what she saw outside the ship windows. The EFSS Vengeance had traveled farther than any human in history. 6 months since we left Earth, she said quietly to herself. The ship hummed around her, its engines a constant reminder of how far from home they were. "Captain, we're picking up signals," said Communications Officer Olivia Martinez. Her fingers moved quickly across her screen. "Definitely not human." And not Siraxian either. Kelly walked over to look at the screen. Strange symbols scrolled by, nothing like the Siraxian language they had studied during their journey. "Dr. Russell, what do you make of this?" Kelly asked. Dr. Paul Russell, a tall man with gray in his beard, looked up from his own screen. Before the alien attack, he had run NASA's biology department. Now he was the lead scientist on humanity's most important mission ever. "It confirms what we suspected," he said. "The galaxy isn't empty. Those signals suggest at least 5 different species communicating with each other." The bridge crew fell silent. Everyone had known, logically, that there must be other aliens besides the Siraxians. But hearing actual proof was different. "Can we understand any of it?" Kelly asked. "Not yet," Paul said. "But the computer is working on it. What's interesting is that they all seem to be using a common base language for ship-to-ship communication, like an interstellar common tongue." Lieutenant Jack Wilson spoke up from the weapons station. "So there's some kind of alien alliance, and the Siraxians are part of it." "Maybe," Paul nodded. "And if that's true, Earth might have more enemies than we thought." Kelly frowned. Their mission had seemed clearer when they left Earth. Find the Siraxians. Deliver humanity's warning. Show them that attacking Earth was a mistake they shouldn't repeat. But if the Siraxians were part of a larger group of alien species, "I have something," Olivia called out. The computer managed to decode part of a message. It mentions the Siraxian homeworld, and something called the Concordat. "The Concordat," Kelly repeated. "It seems to be some kind of alliance," Olivia explained. "The message says representatives are gathering for an emergency meeting. Something about the human problem." "They're going to plan another attack on Earth," Jack said, his hand tightening on his console. Kelly looked at the main screen, where a map showed their position and the direction the signals were coming from. "How far to where this meeting is happening?" she asked. 3 days at our current speed," the navigator answered. Kelly nodded. "Then we have 3 days to prepare. Dr. Russell, I want everything you can find out about this Concordat. Officer Martinez, keep working on those translations. We need to know what we're walking into." "Captain," Paul said, looking troubled, "there's something else you should see." He pulled up a file on the main screen. It showed information they had pulled from the captured Siraxian ship computers. "We finally cracked their secure files," he explained. "The Siraxians told this Concordat that humans were too aggressive to join their galactic community. They claimed we would be a threat if allowed to develop further." "That's why they attacked us?" Kelly asked. "A preemptive strike." "Yes, but look at this." Paul pointed to another part of the file. "The Siraxians have done this before. 17 other times, at least. They find developing species, label them as dangerous, and get permission from the Concordat to eliminate them." The bridge went quiet again as everyone took in this information. "So the Siraxians aren't just our enemies," Kelly said slowly. "They're serial killers on a galactic scale." "And Earth was next on their list," Paul added. "Except we fought back. Maybe the first species to ever survive their preventative measure." Kelly stood straight and looked at her crew. "Then our mission just got bigger. We're not just delivering a warning from Earth anymore. We're bringing justice for 17 dead civilizations." She turned to the navigator. "Set course for this Concordat meeting. Maximum speed. It's time the galaxy learns that humans aren't easy to kill, and we don't let murderers go unpunished." Nexus Station looked like a giant metal flower floating in space. It was bigger than any space station humans had ever built. Hundreds of ships from different alien worlds moved around it like bees around a hive. Lieutenant Jack Wilson watched it through a small window on the shuttle. His team of 6 soldiers wore black suits they had taken from the Siraxian ship. The suits didn't fit perfectly, but from a distance, they wouldn't look human. "Remember," Jack said to his team, "we go in, we listen, we get out. No one talks to any aliens. We don't know enough about them yet." The team nodded. They all knew how important this mission was. Captain Harrison had ordered them to sneak onto Nexus Station and learn as much as they could before the Vengeance revealed itself to the Concordat. Their shuttle had been disguised to look like a small Xeraxian transport. As they got closer to the station, Jack felt sweat on the back of his neck. If anyone realized they were humans, they would be caught deep in enemy territory with no way back to the Vengeance. Incoming message from Station Control, said Sergeant Ben Cole, who was piloting the shuttle. Jack took a deep breath. Play the recorded response. A series of clicks and whistles played from their communication system. It was a message they had copied from the Xeraxian computers, identifying them as a supply ship. There was a tense moment of silence. Then the station sent back an approval code and directed them to a small docking bay. It worked, Ben said, sounding surprised. So far, Jack warned. The hard part is still ahead. The shuttle landed in a busy docking area. Through the windows, they could see dozens of different alien species. Some had multiple arms. Others had no arms at all. Some were tall and thin, while others were short and wide. The diversity was stunning. "Look at them all," whispered Private Samantha Green. "And they all hate us without even knowing us." "That's why we're here," Jack reminded her. "To find out why." They left the shuttle wearing their stolen Xeraxian suits and helmets that hid their human faces. Jack led them through crowded hallways, following the map they had studied on the Vengeance. They needed to reach the central meeting hall, where the Concordat Council would be discussing Earth. As they walked, they passed by screens showing news in various alien languages. The computer in Jack's helmet translated some of it. Many reports were about Earth and the failed Xeraxian attack. One screen showed pictures of destroyed Xeraxian ships. The caption called humans dangerously violent and a threat to galactic peace. "They're making us sound like monsters," Ben said quietly. "Keep moving," Jack ordered. They found a service tunnel that led them closer to the central hall. As they moved through it, they heard voices ahead. Jack signaled for the team to stop and hide. Two aliens walked by, talking in the common language of the Concordat. Jack's translator picked up pieces of their conversation. "Xeraxians pushing too hard. But if these humans are as dangerous as they claim, 17 other species. Are we sure about that? I've only heard of 12. High Commander insists they're worse than the others." After the aliens passed, Jack looked at his team. "Did you hear that? One of them isn't sure about the 17 species the Xeraxians claim to have eliminated. They're questioning the Xeraxians," Samantha said. "Not everyone believes them." This was important information. If there were doubts among the Concordat members, maybe humanity could find allies. They continued toward the central hall. Through a side entrance, they slipped into a dark observation area above the main floor. Below them was a massive round room filled with hundreds of alien representatives. In the center was a raised platform where a tall, gray-skinned Xeraxian was speaking. "This is the High Commander," Jack whispered, recognizing the alien from their intelligence files. "The one who ordered the attack on Earth." The team activated their recording devices as the High Commander spoke. "The humans must be eliminated completely," the Xeraxian leader was saying. "Our first attempt failed, but we have prepared a larger force. We cannot allow them to develop further and threaten our galactic peace." Many alien representatives nodded in agreement, but Jack noticed that some did not. Some looked concerned or doubtful. "We need to get this information back to the Vengeance," Jack said. "Captain Harrison needs to see this before she makes contact with the Concordat." But as they turned to leave, an alarm suddenly blared throughout the station. The alarm stopped as suddenly as it had started. Jack and his team stayed frozen in their hiding spot above the council chamber. "Security drill," a voice announced in the common language. "Return to normal activities." Jack let out a breath he didn't know he was holding. That was close. His communicator vibrated. It was a message from the Vengeance. "Change of plans," he read quietly to his team. "Captain Harrison is coming here. Now." Samantha's eyes widened behind her helmet. "What? Why?" She says they've decoded enough of the Concordat's communications. They found proof of the Ziraxian lies. Jack read the rest of the message and looked up at his team. We need to secure a side entrance to the council chamber. The captain is going to walk right in and confront them. On the Vengeance, Captain Kelly Harrison stood before her crew in her formal uniform. Next to her was Ambassador Susan Cooper, a tall woman with dark skin who had been Earth's top diplomat before the alien attack. This is either the bravest thing humans have ever done, or the stupidest, Susan said as they prepared to board a shuttle. Maybe both, Kelly replied. But we can't wait any longer. If we don't stop them now, that second fleet will launch against Earth. Dr. Paul Russell joined them, carrying data tablets. I've organized all the evidence we pulled from the Ziraxian systems. It clearly shows they've been systematically eliminating developing species for centuries. Good, Kelly said. Let's go introduce ourselves to the galaxy. The Vengeance dropped its cloaking technology. All around Nexus Station, alarms went off as sensors detected the human ship. Inside the council chamber, the Ziraxian High Commander was interrupted by frantic aides. What is the meaning of this? He demanded. A ship, High Commander, one aide said. Unknown design, but the energy signature, it's from Earth. A murmur ran through the assembled aliens. Many stood up, looking alarmed. The High Commander raised his arms for silence. Stay calm, he ordered. Station defenses will handle this human vessel. At that moment, the side doors to the chamber slid open. Captain Kelly Harrison walked in with Ambassador Cooper and Dr. Russell. Behind them, Jack's team provided security, no longer hiding their human faces. The chamber erupted in chaos. Some aliens backed away in fear. Others shouted in anger. Security guards moved forward but stopped when they saw Jack's team had weapons. The High Commander's gray skin turned almost white. How dare you come here? Guards, arrest these humans. I wouldn't, Kelly said calmly. The ESS of Vengeance has its weapons locked on this station's core. Any hostile move against us will have consequences. Ambassador Cooper stepped forward. We come to address the Concordat directly, to tell our side of the story. An alien with blue skin and 6 eyes moved to the center of the room. I am the moderator of this council. You threaten us and then claim to want to talk. We've learned that's the language the Concordat understands, Kelly replied. The Ziraxians attacked Earth without warning, killing 2 million of our people. We're simply ensuring you listen before judging us. Susan stepped up to the main platform, looking directly at the gathered representatives. The Ziraxian High Commander has told you humans are dangerous, too aggressive to join your galactic community. That we must be eliminated for the safety of all. She paused, looking around the room. What he didn't tell you is that the Ziraxians have done this before. Many times. Dr. Russell connected his tablet to the chamber's display system. Screens around the room filled with Ziraxian data files. These are the Ziraxians' own records, he explained. They show 17 separate campaigns to eliminate what they called dangerous species. Each time, they told the Concordat these species were too violent or unstable. Each time, you believed them and allowed the extinctions. The blue moderator looked at the data, then at the High Commander. Is this true? Before the Ziraxian could answer, Ambassador Cooper continued. Humans aren't perfect. We've had our wars. We've made mistakes. But we value life. We seek peaceful solutions when possible. The Ziraxians didn't even try to talk to us before they attacked. They fear us, Kelly added. Not because we're violent, but because we develop too quickly. They fear any species that might one day match their power. The High Commander stepped forward, his voice cold. These are lies. Humans manipulated our data. Then explain this, Dr. Russell said, bringing up a new file. Orders for a second, larger fleet already on its way to Earth. Planet-killing weapons. Is that how the Concordat deals with dangerous species? No trials. No diplomacy. Just extinction. The chamber grew quiet as the aliens looked at each other. The human evidence was compelling. For the first time, many in the Concordat began to question what they had been told. Then the High Commander pressed something on his wrist. Suddenly, panels in the walls opened and armed Ziraxian soldiers poured into the room. The first shots came from the Ziraxian soldiers. Green energy beams cut through the air toward the human delegation. Jack and his team reacted instantly, pushing Captain Harrison and the others behind a large metal table. "Protect the civilians," Security Chief Frank Murphy shouted. He was a big man with quick reflexes. His team formed a protective circle around the human diplomats. Panic filled the council chamber. Alien representatives ran in all directions. Some were hit by stray Ziraxian fire. Others were trampled in the chaos. "This is exactly what we didn't want," Ambassador Susan Cooper said as she crouched behind the table. Captain Kelly activated her wrist communicator. "Vengeance, we have a situation. The Ziraxians are attacking the council. There are civilian casualties." "Orders, Captain," came the response. Kelly looked at the terrified aliens around her. This wasn't how Earth wanted to introduce itself to the galaxy. "Target Ziraxian ships only. Disable, don't destroy. And send in our second team." Outside the station, the Vengeance fired precise shots that disabled the engines and weapons of Ziraxian vessels without destroying them. The other alien ships moved away, seeing that the humans were only targeting the Ziraxians. Inside the chamber, Frank organized the human security team. Jack, left flank. Samantha, right flank. Ben with me up the middle. Short bursts, stun settings only. The humans moved with practiced precision. Their weapons fired blue pulses that knocked Ziraxian soldiers unconscious rather than killing them. This wasn't lost on the watching aliens. The moderator with blue skin and 6 eyes had taken cover near Kelly. "Your weapons can kill, yet you choose not to," he observed. "We're not here to start a war," Kelly explained. "We're here to stop one." Across the chamber, the Ziraxian High Commander was shouting into a communicator. "Launch all ships. Begin the attack on the human vessel." A new voice boomed over the station speakers. "This is Commander Alan Wright of the Earth Defense Force. Attention all non-Ziraxian ships. Please move away from Nexus Station. We have detected Ziraxian weapons being activated throughout the station. We are taking defensive action only." As if to confirm his words, the Vengeance fired again, targeting only Ziraxian gun emplacements on the station's exterior. Meanwhile, more humans entered the council chamber from different doors. They wore medical symbols on their uniforms. Dr. Laura Jenkins, Earth Medical Corps, a woman with short gray hair, announced, "We're here to help the wounded." Several alien medical personnel hesitated, then joined the human doctors. Together, they began treating injured representatives of various species. Frank and his team pushed forward, forcing the Ziraxian soldiers back. The High Commander looked around wildly as his plan fell apart. "You see," he shouted to the council members who remained, "see how aggressive these humans are. We see humans defending themselves and others from your unprovoked attack." The blue moderator replied. His voice carried through the chamber, "Just as they did when you attacked their world." A massive alien with rough, stone-like skin stepped forward. Twice as tall as a human, it moved between the Ziraxian soldiers and a group of smaller aliens they had cornered. "I am Kroll of the Thraxa," the huge alien rumbled. "My people lost 3 colony worlds to mysterious attacks. Now I see the same tactics used here." The Thraxa turned to face Frank. "Human warriors, the Thraxa will fight beside you." Frank nodded respectfully. "We welcome your help." The Ziraxian High Commander saw his support crumbling. "Kill them all," he ordered his soldiers in desperation. But it was too late. With the Thraxa joining the humans, the Ziraxian forces were quickly overwhelmed. They retreated toward their ships, only to find the docking bays secured by more human troops from the Vengeance. In just 20 minutes, the battle for Nexus Station was over. The Ziraxian High Commander and his officers were surrounded, their weapons disabled. Captain Kelly walked up to the High Commander. She was shorter than him by a full head, but he seemed to shrink under her gaze. "In the name of Earth and the 2 million humans who died in your unprovoked attack, you are under arrest," she said. "You will stand trial before this Concordat for crimes against humanity and for the 17 other species you've destroyed." The blue moderator approached. His 6 eyes studied Kelly with new respect. "It seems we have much to learn about humans," he said, "perhaps starting with how you secured this station so efficiently." Kelly looked around at the mixed teams of humans helping wounded aliens, at the Thraxa standing guard with Frank's security team, at the evidence still displayed on the screens around them. "We'll be happy to explain," she said, "after we deal with that second fleet heading for Earth." Nex's station was quiet again. 2 hours after the battle, Captain Kelly Harrison stood in the central archives with the blue-skinned moderator and several other Concordat representatives. Dr. Paul Russell worked at a computer terminal, accessing the station's records. "The Xeraxians kept 2 sets of records," Paul explained. "The false ones they showed to the Concordat, and the true ones they kept private." The massive Thraxa named Kroll leaned forward to see the screen. His stone-like skin made a scraping sound against the floor. "Show us the truth about my people's colonies," he requested. Paul brought up files with Thraxa writing. Kroll read them and made a low, rumbling sound in his chest that might have been sadness or anger. 3 thriving worlds," Kroll said. 15 million Thraxa. All destroyed because we developed a new type of faster-than-light drive the Xeraxians could not copy. "I am sorry for your loss," Kelly said, putting a hand on the giant alien's arm. Even though her hand looked tiny against his massive limb, the gesture seemed to mean something to Kroll. The moderator moved to another screen. "Here are records of all 17 species the Xeraxians eliminated," he said. "No, 18. Counting a world called Delvoria that I had never even heard of. 18 genocide campaigns," Ambassador Susan Cooper said quietly, "all approved by the Concordat, based on Xeraxian lies." The moderator's 6 eyes blinked in sequence. "We bear responsibility for believing them without question." The Concordat failed in its duty to protect developing species. A new alien entered the archive room. This one had a body like flowing water contained in a clear suit. It moved with graceful ripples. "I am Director Loom of Station Security," the liquid alien said. "We have secured all Xeraxian personnel on the station, but there is a problem." "What problem?" Kelly asked. "Many of the Xeraxian ships escaped during the confusion, including one carrying the activation codes for their second attack fleet." Engineer Greg Simmons had been working quietly in the corner of the room. He looked up from his tablet. "I think I can help with that," he said. Greg was shorter than most of the other humans, with quick hands and quicker eyes. He had been studying the Xeraxian communication systems since they arrived. "I found something in their emergency protocols," he continued. "Every Xeraxian ship has a hidden message beacon. It's designed to broadcast emergency orders that override all other commands." "Can you access it?" Kelly asked. Greg nodded. "I think so. The High Commander's authentication codes were in the data we captured." The moderator moved closer. "What are you planning?" "If we can send a message through their emergency system, we might be able to expose the fleet's real orders," Greg explained. "Show the truth to everyone in the Concordat at once." The group moved to the station's communication center. Greg connected his tablet to the main system and began typing rapidly. "The Xeraxians would have hidden the real orders from most of their own ship's crews," he said as he worked. "They would have told them this was a peacekeeping mission or something similar." After several minutes, Greg sat back. "I found it. The Second Fleet's true orders, hidden in their secure data. And they're worse than we thought." He brought the orders up on the main screen. Even in the alien language, the images were clear. Earth completely destroyed. No survivors. No prisoners. Total extinction. "They plan to sterilize our entire planet," Kelly said, her voice tight with anger. "Not just defeat us. Wipe out all life on Earth." The moderator and the other Concordat representatives looked shocked. This goes against our most sacred laws, the moderator said. Even in war, we do not destroy worlds. The Ziraxians have broken your laws 17 times before, Ambassador Cooper pointed out. Why would Earth be different? Greg raised his hand. I can broadcast these true orders through the emergency beacon. Every ship in their fleet will receive it. Every member of the Concordat will see what was really planned. Do it, Kelly ordered. Greg pressed a final button. Throughout the station and across thousands of ships in space, screens lit up with the Ziraxians' secret plans. Their lies exposed for all to see. Captain Kelly turned to the moderator. We need to warn Earth about the coming fleet, even with what we've done here. Those ships are still on their way to attack our world. The Concordat will send ships with you, the moderator promised. This attack will not happen. I hope you're right, Kelly said, but we need to leave now, before it's too late. She activated her communicator. Vengeance, prepare for immediate departure. We're headed home. The Vengeance pushed through space faster than any human ship had ever gone before. Behind it came 3 ships from the Concordat, 1 Thraxa battle cruiser, and 2 sleek vessels from other allied species. They were all racing against time. Engine status, Captain Kelly Harrison asked, her voice tight with worry. Chief Engineer Maria Ortiz looked up from her station. Her dark hair was tied back, and there were dark circles under her eyes from working nonstop. The engines are running at 150% of their rated capacity, Captain. I don't know how much longer they'll hold. They need to hold long enough to reach Earth, Kelly said. The Ziraxian fleet will arrive in less than 2 days. Maria nodded and went back to work, making adjustments to keep the straining engines from exploding. The Vengeance shuddered as it pushed the limits of its experimental drive. Ambassador Susan Cooper entered the bridge. I just finished talking with our new allies, she said. The Thraxa have transmitted warnings to Earth using their long-range communication system, but we don't know if the messages got through. Earth's defenses have improved since we left, Kelly said, but they aren't ready for a fleet this size with planet-killing weapons. On Earth, Defense Director Noah Bennett stood in the Global Command Center beneath the Rocky Mountains. Screens around him showed the approaching Ziraxian fleet, over 30 large warships and dozens of smaller vessels. Any response to our hails? He asked his communications officer. None, sir. They're ignoring all attempts to communicate. Noah was a tall man with short gray hair and a face that rarely showed emotion. But now there was worry in his eyes. 6 months ago, Earth had barely survived an attack by 5 Ziraxian ships. Now there were 30 heading their way. How long until they're in range? He asked. 18 hours, sir. Noah nodded and made his decision. Implement Protocol Omega. The officer looked up in surprise. Sir, that's our last resort option. And this is our last resort situation, Noah replied. Activate all stealth satellites. Power up the energy web. And get me the president. Across Earth, hidden systems began to power up. In the 6 months since the first attack, humans had been busy. They had studied Ziraxian technology and prepared for the possibility of a second attack. On the main screen, the president's face appeared. Director Bennett, is it time? Yes, Madam President. The Ziraxian fleet will reach Earth in 18 hours. We've received fragments of transmissions suggesting our mission to their space was successful, but the Vengeance hasn't returned yet. We have to assume we're on our own. The President was silent for a moment. You have full authorization. Protect our world, Director. In deep space, the Vengeance's engines finally gave out with a deafening boom that echoed through the ship. Emergency systems activated as the ship dropped out of faster-than-light travel. Damage report. Kelly shouted over the alarms. Main drive is completely burned out, Maria reported. We're still 6 hours from Earth at best speed. The Ziraxian fleet will arrive before us, Ambassador Cooper said, her face pale. The communication system crackled. Human vessel, this is Commander Kroll of the Thraxa warship Stone Fist. We have received your distress call. The massive Thraxa ship slowed and moved alongside the damaged Vengeance. Our engineers can assist with repairs, Kroll continued. But even with our help, you will not reach Earth in time. We have to try, Kelly insisted. There is another way, Kroll said. My ship can tow yours at our maximum speed. We will both take damage, but we might arrive in time. Kelly looked around at her crew. This could destroy both ships, but it was their only hope. Do it, she ordered. As the stone fist extended energy tethers to the Vengeance, Kelly went to the ship's communication room. She needed to warn Earth, even if the message might not arrive in time. This is Captain Harrison of the EFSS Vengeance, she recorded. Zeraxian fleet approaching with planet-killing weapons. We are returning with allied ships. Hold out if you can. Help is coming. She sent the message, knowing it might be too late. Then she returned to the bridge as the Thraxa ship began to pull them through space at dangerous speeds. Captain, Lieutenant Jack Wilson said from his station, if we survive this, what happens next? Even if we stop this fleet, the Zeraxians might send another. Kelly looked at the stars streaking by outside. Then we make sure they understand that attacking Earth is a mistake they should never make again. The Zeraxian fleet commander looked at Earth through his view screen. The blue planet seemed peaceful and undefended. There were no ships moving to intercept them. No weapons firing. Nothing. Scans show minimal defensive preparations, his officer reported. Their major cities are unshielded. The commander smiled. This would be easy. The humans had gotten lucky during the first attack, but they would not survive this time. He had 30 warships and orders to sterilize the entire planet. Move into bombardment position, he ordered. Prepare planet killer weapons. The Zeraxian ships spread out, forming a half-circle around Earth. Still, there was no response from the planet. Weapons ready, Commander. Begin the attack. But as the Zeraxian ships powered up their weapons, something strange happened. Thousands of small objects suddenly appeared on their sensors, surrounding the fleet in a giant sphere. What are those? The commander demanded. Before his officer could answer, the objects activated. They were stealth satellites that Earth had been placing in orbit for the past 6 months. Each one generated an energy field that connected to the others. In seconds, the Zeraxian fleet was trapped inside a massive energy web. Weapons not responding. Engines offline, shouted the officer. We're immobilized. On Earth, Defense Director Noah Bennett watched from the command center. Protocol Omega successful, he reported. Zeraxian fleet contained. The president nodded. How long will the energy web hold them? About 6 hours at most. After that, the satellites will run out of power. Let's hope that's long enough. At that moment, sensors detected new ships entering the solar system. The operators expected more Zeraxians, but instead they saw the damaged Vengeance being towed by a massive alien ship they didn't recognize. Behind them came 2 more unknown vessels. We're receiving a transmission from the Vengeance, the communications officer announced. Captain Kelly Harrison's tired face appeared on screen. Earth Command, this is Captain Harrison. The alien ships with us are allies. I repeat, they are allies. We've exposed the Zeraxian lies to the Concordat. These ships are here to help. Noah Bennett felt relief wash over him. Captain, your timing is perfect. We've trapped the Zeraxian fleet, but our hold won't last long. We're sending you targeting data, Kelly replied. The Thraxa and other allied ships have weapons that can disable the Zeraxians without destroying them. Over the next hour, the allied ships worked with Earth's defenses to systematically disable the Zeraxian fleet. One by one, the enemy ships went dark, their crews surrendering when they realized they were beaten. 2 weeks later, Admiral Lisa Carter stood on a platform in front of the new United Nations building. Representatives from 23 alien species sat in the audience, including the blue-skinned moderator and Kroll of the Thraxa. It was the most important diplomatic meeting in human history. Today marks a new chapter for humanity, Admiral Carter began. We have joined the galactic community, but we do so on our own terms." She looked at each of the alien representatives. Many had come to respect humans after learning how Earth had defended itself against overwhelming odds. The Xeraxian leadership will face justice for their crimes against humanity and 17 other species. Their empire of fear is over. The Admiral paused, then delivered Earth's final message to the gathered aliens. "Let me be clear about humanity's place among the stars. We do not seek conflict. We prefer friendship and cooperation. But we will never again be caught unprepared." Her voice became stronger as she continued. "We come from a harsh world that taught us to survive against all odds. When first contacted, we offered friendship and were met with slaughter. We defended ourselves then, and we will always defend ourselves." The room was completely silent. "This is our final warning to any who would threaten Earth in the future, attack us again, and face annihilation. We are humanity. We value peace, but we master war when forced to fight. Remember this." After the speech, Captain Kelly Harrison stood with Commander Alan Wright, watching as humans and aliens began to mingle and talk. "Do you think they understand now?" Alan asked. Kelly nodded. "I think they do. Earth has earned its place among the stars." "Not through conquest," Alan said. "No," Kelly agreed. "Through determination. Through survival when we were meant to die. And through showing mercy when we could have taken revenge." In orbit above them, Earth's new defense fleet stood ready. And across the galaxy, the message spread. The humans of Earth were not to be taken lightly. They offered friendship to friends, but enemies would find only one thing: Earth's final warning.